Hello again, Beardos. Welcome back to Greybeard Disc Golf. Today I'm down at Dry Creek Disc Golf Park on this incredibly chilly, cold, snowy day. I think it's about 1 degree. It doesn't feel like 1 degree. My car said it was 1 degree. I think it does not feel like 1 degree. It feels like a lot colder than that. But I wanted to get out today because I had something delivered yesterday that I'm extremely excited about. In my hot little mitts, I have a package from Trash Panda. So if you've been following Trash Panda at all, you know a little bit about the company. They're based in Colorado. They manufacture discs from 100% recycled sources, and that could be any number of sources, but also recycled discs. So they have a recycling program. If you send them a number of discs, they will give you a discount off your next order based on how many discs you send them to be recycled. Using this program, they've recycled over 15,000 discs to date, and that's just going to keep growing as more and more people send their discs in. And it's their mission really to create a sustainable sport. And one of the ways you're doing that is by releasing several different molds, amazing molds. I got in on the original inner core, and I also have a couple of dunes as well. But this is the one that is kind of most exciting to me. These are the Canyon. The Canyon, they build it as an overstable mid-range. And they don't actually have any flight numbers for the Canyon yet. They are kind of questioning people. They're asking people what they think the flight number should be, kind of how like Scott Stokely did with his discs. So I'm going to be throwing them today, and on this incredibly cold course. Normally I'd be up in the field, but it is howling wind up there right now. There's a little bit of wind coming in. You can probably hear it in the microphone. So we're going to be throwing these into a bit of a headwind, which is probably not a bad thing to kind of test the stability of an overstable mid-range disc. The base of the hill there is about 235, 240 feet, so not really far, but it's cold today, so I'm not sure I'm going to get a ton of distance on these. Okay, so about the discs themselves, I actually I have an ozone in here too, but I'm not throwing it today. About the discs themselves. Now, I scaled these both back at home at 172 grams, so it's a pretty decent weight. And they're also, this plastic is incredibly gummy. You can kind of see, even in this cold, and I've been out here for a few minutes, so these are getting cold now, but it's still really gummy. And I will put up a little bit of video that I took in the studio of me kind of working the disc over in front of my one of my disc racks there, so you can see exactly how gummy this thing is. In the summertime, I bet this thing's going to get super gummy. This disc is actually PDGA approved, even though it is a prototype. You can see, hopefully you can see. So even though these are a prototype, now their intention is to actually take these discs and retool them a little bit and change them slightly once they get some preliminary information from people and from testers like me, apparently, because they've sent me a questionnaire and asked me to fill out a questionnaire on my experience with the Canyon prototype. Now, it is PDGA approved. It was approved on January 13th, so it is actually tournament legal. And then they will be going into full production of this sometime in the spring. Their goal is to have these the revised mold ready for production sometime in the spring of this year, which is 2025. Okay, enough jaw jacking. Let's get a throw on these. I'm just going to take off the one glove, and I'm going to throw them both. All right, let's just put this out flat and see what happens. Well, it's definitely very stable. Nice, as long as it stays up on top of the snow. All right, so let's just try and put this straight now. That would be great. A bit of a headwind. Turn it over again. But very stable. Look at that finish at the end. All right, let's go pick those up and have a couple more throws. So as I said before, this has got a great hand feel to it. It's nice and shallow. I like that about this disc. I prefer a shallower disc in my hand. And this feels very much like a hex, actually. And it's pretty well bored flat, which is fantastic. All right, let's put a forehand on these. Keep it flat. We're completely stable. I'll fly out. Oh. Okay, well, it stayed in bounds. You can see why I don't do a ton of forehands on my videos. All right, let's see if we can't get this. Just throw it straight. Here we go. Look at that. Gorgeous. A little bit shorter, obviously my forehand's not as strong, but a beautiful flight out of it and a nice little flex, and away we go. Okay, here we are, hole 4, Dry Creek Disc Golf Park. You've seen me throw this one before on several different videos. Don't need a lot of explanation. This should be perfect. Again, just push it out, get it to push forward, and then finish at the basket, which is just between the trees down there. All right, here we go. Just like that. Get there. Oh, nice. That worked out really nice. Might have got clipped by that first tree there. Try this again. Maybe put it out a little bit further to the right and see if we can't get it to fall at the basket here. Just like that. All right, those, at least one of those should be parked. That second one looked perfect. Let's go have a look. So they both ended up just a hair short, but man, they're just on the perfect line. Here's our first one, the flat one, the one that came up a little bit higher. Much better shot. I should just keep a putt with the canyon. Yep, apparently you can. So on our way to the next hole here, the final hole. I got one more throw, and I want to talk a little bit about this. I think that ideally, this idea of doing a recycled disc, of trying to be sustainable in this sport, is a fantastic idea, and I think Trash Panda is doing it right. If you follow Trash Panda at all, you know Jesse was a YouTuber that got it in his head to make a disc out of recycled materials. And he started with literally a hand press that he had to use his own physical body weight to actually mold the discs. And now they've got 2 machines and they're cranking out great number of discs, some really interesting designs. So I encourage you to support that type of initiative. If you've got spare discs sitting around doing nothing, send them. You could get up to 25, I think a 35% discount if you send them discs. All right, flight numbers. Well, right off the bat, this is absolutely a 5-speed, maybe even a 4-speed, but it's definitely a 5-speed disc. Yeah, 4.5 maybe. Glide wise, glide's pretty good, but it's not spectacular. So my glide, I would probably put on it as a 4. And then for turn, it's probably got a 0 turn. It flies pretty straight. Hi. Hello. So it flies pretty straight. And for fade at the end, I'm going to go 1, 1.5, maybe even a 2. Again, this is the weather that we're in here. It's kind of it's cold. The air is really odd. It's plus I was also throwing with the wind. That probably got quite a bit of turn out of it going into the headwind. So we'd have to do some more testing in dead air in order to really get a good idea of what the flight numbers would be. But my guess, I would say, I would put it at a 4.5, 4, 0, probably a 2. That would be my guess at the flight numbers. So I guess, but we'll see once the final version is up and once the prototyping is done and they've got their final production version, we'll get numbers on it at that point. So, all right, last throw. If you watched my Glacier video, you probably have a pretty good idea of what I'm about to attempt. In that video, I put the Glacier's a overstable, slightly overstable mid-range designed for Gann and Burr. And this disc really matches it very well. So I'm going to try the same shot I tried in that video. And that is a bit of a flex. I'm going to try to put this out on an anhyzer and try to have it flex kind of back towards the basket. I'm going to have 2 shots at it. We'll see if we can make it work. Oh, stable up. Give me a putt. Beautiful. Just past pin high. That worked out great. See if I can put it up in the air a little bit, maybe have it kind of curl in behind the basket. That would be amazing. Stable up. Oh, or hit the tree. Well, you can see the stable line it was going to take. Thanks again for joining me here on Greybeard Disc Golf. Sincerely appreciate your support. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try to start publishing a little bit more content this year. I did, I think, 34 videos last year. I want to try to hit 50 this year. It's been a slow start, obviously. It's hard to do this, but I want to say thanks very much, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time on Greybeard Disc Golf. Oh, and hey, did you practice your putting today? I have to practice my putting when I get home. I'm going to practice my putting. It'll make me a better disc golfer. It'll make you a better disc golfer too. See you next time on Greybeard Disc Golf.